My name is Maeve, and I am 21 years old. 6 years ago, on my 15th birthday, my family told me they were taking me out to celebrate. Instead, they drove me to an abandoned lot, left me there alone, and laughed as they drove away. The people I trusted most in the world betrayed me in the cruelest way imaginable. But I made a promise that night, as I shivered in the darkness. 6 years later, they finally paid the price for what they did to me. Let me know where you are watching from, hit that like button, and subscribe to find out exactly how I made my so-called family face justice for abandoning their daughter in the middle of nowhere. I was 5 years old when Karen and Tim Harrison brought me home. My biological mother had died from a drug overdose, and I had no other family to take me in. In those early days, I remember feeling scared, but also hopeful. Karen would brush my hair each morning, commenting on how beautiful the red curls were. Tim would swing me onto his shoulders as we walked through the park on Sundays. For a while, I believed I had found a real family. They already had 2 children of their own. Jacob was 7 when I arrived, 2 years older than me, with his father's broad shoulders and serious expression even at that young age. Ashley was 6, just a year older, with her mother's blonde hair and confident smile. At first, they seemed excited to have a new sister. Ashley would let me play with her dolls, and Jacob taught me how to ride a bike without training wheels. The Harrison house was in a nice suburb with tree-lined streets and good schools. I had my own room painted light blue with cloud patterns on the ceiling. Karen told me I could redecorate it however I wanted when I got older. There were family dinners, every night weekend trips to the beach, and holiday celebrations that made me feel like I truly belonged. But things began to change around my 10th birthday. I noticed Jacob and Ashley whispering when I entered a room, falling silent and exchanging glances. Small items of mine would disappear only to reappear in strange places, like inside the toilet tank or buried in the garden. When I told Karen, she dismissed it as me being careless or forgetful. Tim started spending more time at work, coming home later and later. When he was home, he barely acknowledged me unless I was in trouble for something. Karen became more distant too, her smiles less frequent, and her hugs briefer. The disparity in how they treated me versus their biological children became increasingly obvious. For Christmas that year, Jacob received a new gaming system, Ashley got an expensive cell phone, and I received a secondhand bicycle with chipped paint. I tried to hide my disappointment, grateful to have any gift at all, but the message was clear. I was not equal to their real children. The housework assignments reflected this inequality too. While Jacob and Ashley had simple chores like taking out the trash or loading the dishwasher, my list grew longer. I was responsible for vacuuming the entire house, doing all the laundry, and keeping the bathrooms clean. If these tasks were not completed perfectly, my allowance would be withheld. Despite all this, I excelled in school. My teachers praised my intelligence and work ethic. I thought perhaps if I brought home perfect report cards, Karen and Tim would be proud of me. They would acknowledge me at the dinner table. Maybe they would love me again, or maybe they never had. Report card day was always the same. Jacob and Ashley would receive money for every A, even though their grades were mostly B's and C's. My straight A's were met with a curt nod and comments like, "Well, at least you are earning your keep." No rewards, no celebration dinners, just the bare minimum of acknowledgement. Throughout these difficult years, I kept a small wooden box hidden under a loose floorboard beneath my bed. Inside were the only possessions I had from my life before the Harrisons. A faded photograph of my biological mother holding me as a baby, a small silver ring with a tiny turquoise stone that had belonged to her, and a tattered stuffed rabbit that smelled faintly of the perfume she used to wear. These treasures were my connection to someone who I believed had truly loved me. Every night I would take out the photograph and talk to it quietly. I would tell my mother about my day, my fears, and my hopes. In my childish imagination, I believed she could hear me, that she was watching over me. It was a comfort I desperately needed in a house that was becoming less and less like a home. By the time I turned 13, the emotional distance had turned into something more sinister. Karen would criticize everything about me, from my appearance to my mannerisms. "Why can you not sit properly like Ashley? Your hair is always such a mess. Do you have to breathe so loudly?" Each comment chipped away at my already fragile self-esteem. Tim barely spoke to me at all, now communicating mainly through Karen, or by leaving notes listing additional chores. On the rare occasions he addressed me directly, it was usually to express disappointment or frustration. The lawn still needs to be mowed. Your grades in physical education are slipping. The bathroom sink is still dirty. Never a word of encouragement, never a sign of affection. I tried harder and harder to be perfect, to be worthy of their love. I stayed up late studying, woke up early to finish chores, volunteered for additional responsibilities. Nothing was ever enough. The message became clearer with each passing day. I was not their daughter. I was an obligation, a burden they had taken on, and now regretted. As my 14th birthday approached, I dared to hope things might improve. Perhaps they would remember the little girl they had once welcomed into their home. Perhaps they would see how hard I was trying. That birthday came and went with only a store-bought card signed by Karen, in what was clearly a hasty afterthought. No presents, no cake, no celebration. That was when I met Sophia. She was new to our school, assigned as my lab partner in biology class. She noticed the threadbare condition of my clothes, the way I saved half my lunch each day to eat, later the flinch when teachers raised their voices. Unlike others who either ignored or mocked me, Sophia asked questions. She listened. She cared. For the first time since I was a small child, I had a friend. Sophia invited me to her house after school, introduced me to her parents, who actually seemed interested in getting to know me. They always offered me dinner, asked about my schoolwork, treated me like I mattered. It was in their home that I began to understand just how abnormal my situation with the Harrisons truly was. As I entered my teen years, my desire for acceptance only grew stronger. Every morning I would stare at my reflection in the bathroom mirror, searching for flaws that might explain why my family did not love me. Was my nose too big? Were my freckles too noticeable? Was it the way I spoke? I tried changing my appearance, my mannerisms, even the tone of my voice, desperate for any sign of approval. Jacob, now 17, had grown taller and broader, using his size to intimidate me. He would block doorways, forcing me to squeeze past him as he made crude comments about my body. He would wait until I was carrying something important like a school project, then bump into me, deliberately causing me to drop it. "Oops, how clumsy of you," he would say with a smirk. Ashley, 16 and popular at school, made sure I remained a social outcast. She spread rumors that I stole things, that I was mentally unstable, that I had been in juvenile detention before coming to live with them. Girls who might have been friendly avoided me. Boys who showed any interest were warned away. I ate lunch alone most days, except when Sophia was there. Tim's drinking had escalated. He kept a flask in his car and refilled it throughout the evening. His temper became increasingly volatile, particularly toward me. If dinner was not ready exactly on time, if the house was not perfectly clean when he arrived home, if I made any noise while he was watching television, his face would turn red with anger. He never hit me, but his verbal outbursts left emotional bruises that ran deep. "Why do we even keep her?" I overheard him shouting at Karen one night. "She is nothing but a problem. We should have sent her back years ago." "Lower your voice," Karen had replied, not defending me, but worried about appearances. "The neighbors will hear you." Karen had once been the warmer parent, the one who occasionally showed glimpses of kindness. Now she was cold and clinical in her interactions with me. She communicated primarily through notes left on the refrigerator, listing chores and expectations. On the rare occasions when we were alone together, she would look at me as if trying to solve a puzzle. "I do not understand why you cannot just be normal," she said once. "We have given you everything, and you are still so difficult." The summer before my 15th birthday, I discovered something that broke my heart all over again. My treasured silver ring, the only thing I had from my biological mother, was missing from my box. I turned my room upside down looking for it, panic rising in my chest. That ring was irreplaceable, a physical connection to a woman I barely remembered but desperately missed. I finally worked up the courage to ask about it at dinner. "Has anyone seen a small silver ring with a turquoise stone? It was my birth mother's, and it is very important to me." Jacob and Ashley exchanged glances. Karen continued eating without looking up. Tim sighed heavily as if my question was an enormous inconvenience. "You probably lost it," Ashley said with a shrug. "You are always losing things." But later that week, I saw it on her dresser, casually tossed among her own jewelry. When I confronted her, she denied taking it, claimed she had found it in the bathroom, and was planning to return it. When I tried to reclaim it, she screamed that I was attacking her. Tim grounded me for 2 weeks, and the ring disappeared completely. I never saw it again. Around this time, I accidentally overheard a conversation that confirmed my worst fears. I had come home early from school due to a power outage and was quietly entering through the back door when I heard Karen, Tim, and Jacob in the kitchen. "We need to do something about Maeve," Tim was saying. "She is becoming more trouble than she is worth." "What are you suggesting?" Karen asked, her voice nervous. "I know a guy who works at Pinewood," Tim replied. Pinewood was a notoriously strict boarding school for troubled teens, more like a juvenile detention center than an educational institution. "He says they have an opening." "That costs money," Karen protested. "Money we could be spending on Jacob's college fund." "It would be worth it to get her out of our hair," Jacob added. "She is such a freak." "Let me think about it," Tim said. "There might be another way to get rid of her that will not cost us anything." I crept away, heart pounding, and hid in my room for hours. Get rid of her. The words echoed in my head. I was not a person to them, not a child who needed love and protection. I was a problem to be solved, an inconvenience to be eliminated. As my 15th birthday approached, I held on to a thin thread of hope. Perhaps they would remember. Perhaps they would make an effort. Perhaps things would change. I did not expect presents or a party, but maybe there would be some acknowledgement that I existed, that I mattered. In the weeks leading up to my birthday, I noticed hushed conversations stopping when I entered rooms. At first, I dared to hope they were planning something nice, a surprise perhaps. But the knot in my stomach told a different story. Something was coming, but it was not a celebration. I confided in Sophia, the only person I trusted. "I think they are planning something bad," I whispered during lunch period. "Tim talked about getting rid of me." Sophia's eyes widened with concern. "You can come stay with us if things get bad," she offered. "My parents already said it would be okay." I squeezed her hand gratefully, but shook my head. "I cannot just run away. They are legally my guardians. They could report me missing and get your parents in trouble." "Then document everything," Sophia advised. "Write it down, take pictures if they ever hurt you. My dad says evidence is important." I nodded, but I did not tell her that I had already started doing exactly that. In another hidden spot in my room, I kept a small notebook where I recorded dates, times, and descriptions of the worst incidents. I did not know if it would ever matter, but it made me feel less powerless. The day before my birthday, I saw Karen checking the family calendar. My birth date was marked, but she made no mention of it. Ashley was excitedly talking about a party she was invited to that weekend. Jacob was discussing a camping trip with friends. No one looked at me. No one included me in their conversation. I was invisible as usual. That night, I lay awake staring at the ceiling, trying to prepare myself for another disappointment. I whispered to the photograph of my mother, "I will be okay. I just need to make it through 3 more years. Then I can leave and build my own life." It was a promise to her and to myself. I just had no idea how severely that promise would be tested the very next day. My 15th birthday dawned gray and drizzly, matching my mood perfectly. I got up early as usual to start my chores before school, not expecting any acknowledgement of the day's significance. No one had mentioned my birthday the night before, and I had learned not to hope for what I knew would not come. I made breakfast for everyone, packed lunches for Jacob and Ashley, and wiped down the kitchen counters. Karen came in already dressed for work and poured herself coffee without a word to me. Tim followed shortly after, scanning the newspaper and ignoring my presence completely. Jacob and Ashley arrived last, bickering over who would get to use the car that weekend. A normal morning, except it was supposed to be special. 15 felt important somehow. A milestone I had been anticipating. I swallowed the lump in my throat and grabbed my backpack, heading for the door to begin my walk to school in the light rain. "Maeve," Karen called suddenly, stopping me in my tracks. I turned, trying not to appear too eager or hopeful. "Yes, we are taking you out tonight," she said, not meeting my eyes. "For dinner. For your birthday." I stood frozen, unable to process what I was hearing. They had remembered. They were actually planning to celebrate my birthday. "Really?" I asked, my voice embarrassingly small. Yes, really, Tim said, looking up from his paper with what almost seemed like amusement. A special dinner for a special day. We will pick you up after school. Jacob and Ashley exchanged glances that I could not interpret. Ashley's lips curled into what might have been a smile, but looked more like a grimace. Jacob snorted and returned to his cereal. Thank you, I said, my heart pounding with unexpected joy. That sounds wonderful. Just make sure you are ready right after school, Karen added. We have reservations. I practically floated to school that day, despite the rain soaking through my worn sneakers. They had remembered my birthday. They were taking me out to dinner to a place nice enough to require reservations. Maybe things were changing. Maybe they did care about me after all. Throughout the day, I found myself smiling for no reason. Even when someone knocked my books out of my hands in the hallway, my good mood remained intact. I told Sophia about the dinner plans during lunch. That is great, she exclaimed, though I detected a hint of concern in her eyes. Where are they taking you? I am not sure, I admitted, but Karen mentioned reservations, so it must be somewhere nice. Sophia nodded, but her smile seemed forced. Just, call me later to tell me about it, okay? Of course. I promised, not understanding her worry. This was good news, the best news I had had in years. After school, I rushed to the front entrance, eager to see the family car waiting for me. Sure enough, their blue sedan was parked at the curb, Tim in the driver's seat, Karen beside him, Jacob and Ashley in the back. I hurried over, sliding into the middle of the back seat between my foster siblings. Hi, I said breathlessly. Thank you for picking me up. No one responded. The car pulled away from the curb, joining the line of vehicles leaving the school grounds. I glanced around at their faces, trying to gauge the mood. Tim's expression was unreadable, his eyes fixed on the road. Karen was looking out the passenger window, her profile rigid. Jacob and Ashley were both on their phones, seemingly ignoring me, though I caught them exchanging glances over my head more than once. So, where are we going? I asked, trying to break the uncomfortable silence. It is a surprise, Tim replied, his voice oddly flat. I settled back in my seat, trying to contain my excitement despite the strange atmosphere in the car. Maybe they were just not good at celebrations. Maybe they felt awkward after years of neglecting my birthdays. Maybe once we arrived at the restaurant, things would warm up. But as we drove, I began to notice we were heading out of town, away from the areas where restaurants were located. The houses became more scattered, then disappeared altogether. As we traveled down a rural highway I did not recognize. Is the restaurant out of town? I asked, a tendril of unease beginning to curl in my stomach. Something like that, Karen replied without turning around. Jacob snickered beside me, quickly covering it with a cough, when Tim shot him a warning look in the rearview mirror. Ashley was smirking now, not bothering to hide it, her eyes gleaming with an anticipation that made my skin crawl. The unease grew as we turned onto a dirt road, the car bouncing over ruts and potholes. There were no buildings in sight, just empty fields stretching out on either side, tall grass waving in the wind. We had been driving for almost an hour now, far longer than it would take to reach any restaurant in the area. Where are we going? I asked again, unable to keep the tremor from my voice. Almost there, Tim said, a new note in his voice that I had never heard before. Something like excitement, but darker, crueler. The car finally slowed, pulling over at what appeared to be an abandoned lot. Overgrown with weeds, scattered with trash and broken glass, it looked like it might have once been the foundation for a building that was never completed. Now, it was just a flat expanse of cracked concrete, surrounded by nothing but empty fields and a distant line of trees. Tim turned off the engine and turned to look at me. We are here, he announced, his lips curving into a smile that did not reach his eyes. Where is here? I asked, looking around in confusion. There is nothing here. Exactly, Karen said, speaking for the first time in many minutes. There is nothing here, just like there is nothing for you with us anymore. My blood ran cold as the meaning of her words sank in. This was not a birthday dinner. This was something else entirely. Get out, Tim said, his voice hard. What? Get out of the car, Maeve, he repeated louder this time. This is your stop. I do not understand, I said, though a terrible understanding was beginning to dawn. We are in the middle of nowhere. That is the point, Jacob said, shoving me toward the door. Out. Ashley opened her door and stepped out, then grabbed my arm and pulled me after her. I stumbled onto the rough ground disoriented and increasingly frightened. Karen and Tim got out as well, standing by the front of the car watching me. "What is happening?" I asked, my voice rising with panic. "Why are we here?" Tim walked toward me, his face twisted into an expression of disgust. "You want to know why? Because we are done with you. Done pretending, done wasting our resources, done having you infect our home with your presence." "We never wanted you," Karen added, her voice eerily calm. "Taking you in was a mistake, one we have regretted every day for 10 years. But I am your daughter," I stammered, tears welling in my eyes. Tim laughed, a harsh sound that cut through me like a knife. "You are not our daughter. You are nothing to us. Nothing but trash, and this," he gestured to the desolate lot around us, "is where trash belongs." Ashley disappeared back to the car, returning with my wooden box of treasures. "Looking for this," she taunted, holding it up. "Your precious mommy memories." Before I could react, she threw it to the ground. The box broke open, spilling its contents onto the dirty concrete. The photograph of my mother fluttered in the wind, landing in a puddle. The stuffed rabbit rolled into a patch of weeds. "No," I cried, diving to gather my treasures. While I was on the ground, I heard car doors slamming. I looked up to see all 4 of them back in the car windows, rolling up. Tim started the engine. "Wait!" I screamed, scrambling to my feet. "You cannot leave me here, please!" Tim rolled down his window just enough to call out, "Happy birthday, Maeve!" before the car began to pull away. I ran after them, stumbling on the uneven ground, screaming and begging them to stop. But the car accelerated, kicking up dust and gravel that stung my face. The last thing I saw was Jacob and Ashley in the back window, laughing and waving mockingly as the car disappeared down the dirt road. Then I was alone, completely alone, in an abandoned lot miles from anywhere, with night beginning to fall. No phone, no money, and no idea where I was or how to get home. Not that the Harrison house had ever truly been home. I stood there in shock, unable to process what had just happened. Had my family, the people who were supposed to protect and care for me, really just abandoned me in the middle of nowhere, left me to fend for myself? Possibly to die, exposure, or worse. The reality of my situation came crashing down as the first heavy raindrop hit my face, followed quickly by another and another. A storm was coming, and I had no shelter, no way to call for help. Nothing but the clothes on my back and the broken contents of my memory box. I gathered my precious items, salvaging what I could. The photograph was soaked, the image beginning to blur, but I carefully tucked it into my pocket anyway. The rabbit was muddy but intact. I held it to my chest, a pathetic substitute for the comfort of another human being. As the rain began to fall in earnest, I looked around desperately for any kind of shelter. The only possibility was a small copse of trees about half a mile away. I started walking toward it, my thin jacket already soaked through my teeth, beginning to chatter from cold and shock. The sun was setting now, the landscape growing darker by the minute. I had no flashlight, no way to see where I was going once night fell completely. Panic rose in my throat, threatening to overwhelm me. I had never felt so utterly abandoned, so completely alone in the world. In that moment of despair, with rain streaming down my face, mixing with my tears, I made a vow to myself. If I survived this, if I found my way back to civilization, I would never allow the Harrisons to hurt me again. And one day, somehow, they would pay for what they had done. I did not know how or when, but I promised myself, promised the memory of my real mother, that justice would eventually be served. Lightning flashed across the sky, illuminating my surroundings briefly. In that flash of light, I saw something I had missed before, a faint glow in the distance, separate from the trees I had been heading toward. It looked like it might be a campfire or a small building with lights. Either way, it meant people, and people meant help. With renewed determination, I changed course, walking toward that distant glow. Each step was an act of defiance against the Harrisons, against their cruelty, against their attempt to break me. I would survive. I would find help. And I would never, ever forget what they had done. The rain fell harder, the wind picking up force, but I kept walking, one foot in front of the other, toward the light, toward hope, toward a future that, no matter how uncertain, had to be better than the past I was leaving behind. The rain pounded against my skin, each droplet feeling like tiny needles as the wind whipped around me. The distant light I had spotted was my only hope, my beacon in the growing darkness. As I stumbled forward, my sneakers squelched in the muddy ground, threatening to pull off with each step. My clothes hung heavy and cold against my body, and my fingers had gone numb from the chill. The light seemed to grow no closer despite my efforts. Had I imagined it? Was my desperate mind conjuring false hope in this desolate place? I pushed on, afraid to stop, afraid that if I did, I might never get up again. After what felt like hours, but was probably only 40 minutes of walking, I finally drew close enough to see what the light was. Not a house or a store as I had hoped, but a small campfire beneath a makeshift tarp shelter. Beside it sat a figure bundled in layers of clothing. I hesitated at the edge of the firelight. A stranger in the middle of nowhere might be my salvation, or another danger. But what choice did I have? I was soaked, freezing, and completely lost. "Hello?" I called, my voice shaking. "Please, I need help." The figure startled, turning quickly toward me. It was an older man with a weathered face and a gray beard. He squinted through the rain at me, obvious surprise on his face. "Good Lord, child," he exclaimed, rising to his feet. "What in the world are you doing out here in this storm? I was left here." I stammered, teeth chattering so hard I could barely speak. "My family, they drove away, they left me." The man's face darkened with anger, but it did not seem directed at me. "Come here by the fire," he said, gesturing me closer. "You are soaked through." I approached cautiously, the warmth of the fire drawing me like a magnet. The tarp overhead provided blessed relief from the rain. The man rummaged in a large backpack, pulling out a threadbare but clean blanket. "Here, wrap up in this," he offered. "Name is Frank. Used to have a proper home myself till the bank took it 3 years ago. Been living rough since then." I accepted the blanket, gratefully introducing myself as I huddled as close to the fire as I dared. "I am Maeve. Today is my 15th birthday." Frank's eyes widened. "Your birthday? And your folks left you out here alone." He shook his head in disgust. "There is a special place in hell for people who mistreat children." As I warmed up, I told Frank my story. About being adopted after my birth mother died, about the years of increasing neglect and cruelty, about the car ride that had ended with my abandonment. He listened without interrupting, occasionally adding wood to the fire, his expression growing grimmer with each detail. "You got anyone else?" he asked when I had finished. "Any family or friends who might help?" "Just one friend from school," I replied. "Sophia. She and her parents have been kind to me, but I do not know their phone number by heart, and I doubt they could find us out here anyway." Frank reached into his coat and pulled out an ancient flip phone. "Battery is low, but it should have enough juice for a call if we can get a signal." My heart leapt. "You have a phone?" "For emergencies," he explained, "which this surely is." We tried multiple spots around the campsite, Frank holding the phone up at different angles, squinting at the screen for bars. Finally, at the top of a small rise about 20 yards away, he got a weak signal. "Quick, child, make your call before we lose it," he urged, handing me the phone. My fingers trembled as I dialed Sophia's number, one of the few I had memorized. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Just as I was losing hope, there was a click, and her familiar voice answered. "Hello, Sophia," I cried. "It is Maeve. I need help." "Maeve, whose phone are you using? Are you okay?" I explained as quickly as I could, trying to describe where I thought I was based on how long we had driven, and the landmarks I remembered passing. Frank added details about the area that he knew, which Sophia relayed to her father, who had apparently been listening with growing alarm. "Dad says he thinks he knows roughly where you are," Sophia finally said. "We are coming to get you. Just stay where you are near the fire so we can see it. We will call the police on the way." "No, not the police," I protested. "Not yet, just come get me, please." After some argument, Sophia reluctantly agreed. "Fine, but Dad says this is absolutely something the authorities need to know about. Just hang on, we are leaving now." The call ended, and Frank and I returned to the fire. He shared the meager food. He had a can of beans and some slightly stale crackers. It was the best meal I had ever tasted, fueled by relief and the kindness of this stranger who had no reason to help me but did so anyway. "Why are you helping me?" I asked as we waited. "You do not know me." Frank's eyes crinkled at the corners, a sad smile beneath his beard. "Been down on my luck a long time, but that does not mean I have lost my humanity. Besides," he added more softly, "had a daughter once. Would like to think someone would help her if she was in trouble." I did not ask what had happened to his daughter. Something in his voice told me it was not a story he wanted to share. It was nearly midnight when headlights finally appeared in the distance, making their way slowly down the dirt road. Frank and I stood waving our arms to make sure they saw us. The car, a practical sedan I recognized as belonging to Sophia's father, pulled to a stop a few yards away. Sophia burst out of the passenger seat, running toward me and enveloping me in a fierce hug. "Oh my God, Maeve, are you okay? I cannot believe they did this to you." Her father approached more slowly, his face a mask of controlled anger. "This is unconscionable," he said, looking me over for injuries. "Absolutely unconscionable." I introduced them to Frank, explaining how he had saved me. Sophia's father, Mr. Reyes, insisted on giving Frank money and his phone number, promising to help him find proper shelter and possibly work. Frank seemed overwhelmed by the offer, but accepted the money and a ride to a nearby motel, where Mr. Reyes paid for a week's stay up front. After dropping Frank off, we headed back toward town. I sat in the back seat, wrapped in a warm blanket Sophia had brought, still clutching my damp stuffed rabbit and the water-damaged photograph. I was safe now, physically at least, but the real ordeal was just beginning. "We need to report this," Mr. Reyes said firmly. "What they did is child abandonment and endangerment. It is a serious crime." "They will deny it," I replied, already knowing how this would play out. "They will say I ran away, that I am making it up for attention. It will be their word against mine." "And Frank's," Sophia pointed out. "He is a witness to the state you were in." A homeless man versus a middle-class family with no previous reports against them. I shook my head. "I know how this works." Despite my protests, Mr. Reyes insisted on calling the police once we reached their home. Officers came to take my statement, their expressions a mixture of sympathy and skepticism. They called the Harrisons, who expressed shock at my wild accusations, and claimed I had run away after an argument about my inappropriate behavior. Just as I had predicted, it became a case of their word against mine. Frank's testimony was noted, but treated as less reliable due to his circumstances. The officers said they would investigate further, but without physical evidence, it would be difficult to prove my allegations. Mrs. Reyes, a warm woman with Sophia's same kind eyes, prepared the guest room for me and loaned me clean, dry clothes. "You can stay here as long as you need," she assured me. "We will figure this out together." For the first time since my ordeal began, I broke down completely, sobbing in her arms. She held me until I had no tears left, then gently guided me to bed, promising that things would look better in the morning. But morning brought a new challenge. The Department of Child Services arrived, alerted by the police. They interviewed me separately from the Reyes family, asking pointed questions about my time with the Harrisons and the events of the previous day. "We have spoken with your foster parents," the caseworker told me. "They are very concerned about you. They say you have been struggling with emotional issues, possibly fabricating stories for attention." "That is not true," I insisted. "They abandoned me miles from anywhere in the rain with no phone or money. How would I have gotten back if not for a stranger's help?" "They suggest you may have run away and are now trying to avoid consequences by making accusations against them." Round and round we went, the caseworker clearly uncertain who to believe. In the end, a terrible compromise was reached. Since there was insufficient evidence of abuse or abandonment, I would be returned to the Harrisons, but with regular check-ins from child services. The Reyes family fought this decision, offering to become emergency foster parents. But without proof of my allegations, the system defaulted to keeping me with my legal guardians. Mr. Reyes promised to seek legal advice and continue fighting for me, but for now I had to return to the people who had tried to get rid of me in the cruelest way possible. Before I left, Sophia pressed a small cheap phone into my hands. "Hide this," she whispered. "Call or text me anytime. Dad bought minutes for it. If anything happens, anything at all, contact us immediately." I nodded, slipping the phone into my sock, the only place I could think of that Karen would not search. As the child services car pulled away from the Reyes home, I watched Sophia and her parents growing smaller in the rear window. They stood together, united in their concern for me, more of a family to me in 24 hours than the Harrisons had been in 10 years. The caseworker drove me back to the Harrison house, where Tim and Karen were waiting on the porch, the perfect picture of concerned parents. Jacob and Ashley were nowhere to be seen, probably kept away to avoid uncomfortable questions. We were so worried, Karen said, her voice dripping with false concern as she hugged me stiffly for the caseworker's benefit. Welcome home, Maeve. Tim added his arm around my shoulder, squeezing just a little too tight. We are glad you are safe. The caseworker outlined the follow-up process, explained that she would be checking in regularly, and left me alone with the people who had abandoned me just a day earlier. As soon as her car was out of sight, everything changed. Karen's face hardened. Tim's arm dropped from my shoulder, and they both stared at me with undisguised hatred. You think you are clever, do not you? Tim hissed, turning people against us, playing the victim. But you failed, Karen added. You are back where you belong, and now things will be different. Much different, Tim agreed, a menacing smile spreading across his face. As I stood there in the entryway of the house facing the cold fury of my foster parents, I understood that I had entered a new and more dangerous phase of my life with them. They had tried to get rid of me and failed. Now they would punish me for that failure. That night alone in my room with the door locked from the outside, I whispered in the darkness. Not to my mother's photograph this time, but to myself a solemn vow that would sustain me through what was to come. I will survive this. I will escape them. And one day, they will pay for what they have done. I promise. Life at the Harrison house became a carefully choreographed performance after my return. When the child services caseworker visited Tim and Karen, played the roles of concerned, loving parents. They spoke about family therapy, about their efforts to understand my emotional issues, about their commitment to helping me work through my problems. As soon as the caseworker left, the masks dropped, revealing the truth beneath. My bedroom door now had a lock installed on the outside, ostensibly for my safety during what they called my episodes. In reality, it was to imprison me at their convenience. My window was nailed shut, my possessions thoroughly searched, and anything deemed unnecessary removed. Jacob, emboldened by the family's successful deception of the authorities, became more openly aggressive. One afternoon, I found him waiting for me when I returned from school. You should have stayed lost, he said, blocking my path to my room. No one wants you here. I do not want to be here either, I replied, trying to move past him. He shoved me hard against the wall, his face inches from mine. Then next time we will make sure you cannot find your way back. I pushed him away with all my strength, surprising both of us when he stumbled backward. Touch me again, and I will tell the caseworker everything. I threatened, though we both knew it would be my word against his. Jacob recovered quickly, his eyes narrowing. You have no proof of anything. No one believes you. He was right, and that knowledge burned inside me. I had no evidence, no way to make anyone believe what was happening in this house when the doors were closed and the social workers gone. That was when I began documenting everything systematically. The hidden phone Sophia had given me became my most valuable possession. I used it to secretly record conversations, to take photos of the lock on my door, to document the meager food I was provided, compared to what the rest of the family ate. Ashley, perhaps sensing that something had shifted, became slightly less antagonistic. She still ignored me most of the time, but the act of cruelty had lessened. Once I caught her watching me with an unreadable expression, something almost like guilt in her eyes. It vanished quickly when she noticed my attention replaced by her usual scorn. Karen now treated me as if I were made of glass, fragile and potentially dangerous. She rarely spoke to me directly, passing instructions through notes or through Tim. When we were forced to interact, her voice was artificially bright, her smile never reaching her eyes. Maeve, dear, she would say if others were present, would you like to help me with dinner? But when we were alone in the kitchen, she would mutter, do not touch anything unless I tell you to. I do not trust you not to mess things up deliberately. Tim had become the most frightening of all. His drinking increased, and with it his unpredictable rage. He never hit me, careful not to leave marks that might be noticed, but his intimidation was constant. He would stand too close, speak too loudly, his breath hot with alcohol as he detailed all the ways I had ruined their perfect family. "We should never have taken you in," he would say, looming over me as I tried to complete my homework at the kitchen table. "Biggest mistake of our lives." Through it all, I maintained my silent documentation. Each night locked in my room, I would retrieve the phone from its hiding place beneath a loose floorboard and record a daily log, date, time, and a detailed account of what had happened that day. I was building a case piece by piece, though I was not yet sure how or when I would use it. Sophia remained my lifeline to sanity. We could not meet outside of school anymore, the Harrisons having forbidden me from socializing with bad influences, but we exchanged texts when it was safe for me to do so. Her parents continued to consult with lawyers looking for ways to intervene legally, but without clear evidence of physical abuse, the options were limited. The monthly visits from the child services caseworker became exercises in frustration. Ms. Patel seemed genuinely concerned about my welfare, but was constrained by protocols and the lack of observable evidence. "Are things improving at home, Maeve?" she would ask during our private conversations. "No," I would reply truthfully. "They lock me in my room. They barely feed me. They tell me every day how much they hate me." She would make notes, promise to follow up, but nothing ever changed. The Harrisons were too skilled at presenting a united front of concerned parenting, and without bruises or broken bones to point to my complaints, could be attributed to teenage rebellion or mental health issues. The turning point came when I was 17. Jacob, now 19, and home from his first year of college, had become increasingly resentful of having to share the same air with me, as he put it. He cornered me one afternoon while Karen and Tim were out shopping. "I need you to do my English paper," he demanded, shoving a laptop toward me. 5 pages on Hamlet. "Due tomorrow." "Do your own work?" I replied, trying to step around him. His hand shot out, gripping my arm painfully. "You will do what I tell you to do, or things will get very bad for you." In that moment, something shifted inside me. I was tired of being afraid, tired of being bullied, tired of being the victim in a house where I had done nothing wrong except exist. "No," I said firmly. "I am not doing your paper. Let go of my arm." Jacob's face flushed with anger. "You ungrateful little bitch," he snarled, his grip tightening. "After everything we have done for you." "Done for me?" I laughed bitterly. "You mean like abandoning me in the middle of nowhere on my birthday? Like locking me in my room? Like stealing the only possessions I had from my real mother?" His other hand came up so quickly I did not have time to react. The slap across my face was shocking more for the fact that it had finally happened than for the pain it caused. For years, the Harrisons had been careful not to leave marks. Jacob had just crossed that line. I stumbled backward, my hand going to my stinging cheek. Jacob looked momentarily shocked at his own action. Then his expression hardened. "No one will believe you anyway," he said dismissively. "Just like last time." What he did not know was that my hidden phone was recording in my pocket, capturing every word, every sound, including the unmistakable noise of his hand connecting with my face. After he stormed off, I retreated to the bathroom, documenting the red mark on my cheek with the phone's camera before it could fade. Evidence. Real, undeniable evidence of what was happening in this house. I sent the recording and photo to Sophia immediately, along with a text, "Please save this somewhere safe. I am finally going to have proof." From that day forward, I became more strategic in my documentation. I placed the phone in hidden locations to record family meals where I was belittled and berated. I captured Karen discussing with Tim how they could send me to a residential facility once I turned 18 to get her off our hands finally. I photographed the meager contents of my school lunch compared to the elaborate meals packed for Ashley. Each piece of evidence was sent to Sophia, who stored everything securely with her father's help. We were building a case slowly but surely against the family that had tried to destroy me. The abuse continued, but now each incident had a purpose beyond mere survival. Each cruel word, each locked door, each missed meal was documented, cataloged, saved as ammunition for a future reckoning. During this time, I focused intensely on my studies. Education would be my ticket out of this house, my path to independence. I applied for scholarships, secretly using school computers and the guidance counselor's office. My grades remained exceptional despite the challenging home environment, a fact that seemed to irritate Tim and Karen even more. What good are as if you have no social skills? Karen would snipe when my report card arrived. College is expensive, Tim would remind me. Do not expect us to pay for it. We are already stretched thin with Jacob and Ashley's tuition. Indeed, Jacob and Ashley were both attending prestigious universities, their educations fully funded by their parents. Jacob was studying business following in Tim's footsteps. Ashley was pursuing communications, though she seemed more interested in the social aspects of college than the academic ones. When they came home for breaks, the dynamic in the house shifted again. Ashley sometimes looked at me with that same unreadable expression, a mixture of guilt and curiosity. Once she asked quietly when no one else was around, "Why do you stay? Why not just leave? And go where?" I replied, "I am 17. No money, no car, nowhere to go." She had no response to that, just nodded slightly before walking away. It was the closest thing to a normal conversation we had had in years. As my 18th birthday approached, I sensed a change in the household atmosphere. Tim and Karen were having hushed conversations that stopped when I entered the room. Jacob, home for summer break, was smirking more than usual when our paths crossed. Only Ashley seemed subdued, avoiding my eyes entirely. I overheard Tim on the phone one evening talking about paperwork for emancipation. Later research confirmed my suspicion they were planning to legally cut ties with me as soon as I turned 18, releasing them from any obligation to support my education or housing. When I confronted Tim with this knowledge, he did not even bother to deny it. "You will be an adult," he said coldly. "Adults support themselves." "So Jacob and Ashley are supporting themselves?" I asked pointedly. His face darkened. "That is different. They are our children." "And what am I?" "A mistake," he replied without hesitation. "One that will be officially corrected in 2 weeks." I nodded calmly, though inside I was anything but calm. "Thank you for being honest, finally." I walked away before he could respond, my mind already working on the next phase of my plan. The Harrisons had no idea how much evidence I had accumulated, how methodically I had documented their abuse. They thought they were about to be free of me. They did not realize they were about to face the consequences of their actions. 2 days before my 18th birthday, I packed the few possessions I cared about into my school backpack. The tattered rabbit from my birth mother, now carefully repaired. The water-damaged photograph preserved as best I could between layers of clear contact paper. My school records and identification documents, which I had gradually secured from Karen's filing cabinet. I sent a text to Sophia. "Tomorrow, be ready." Her response was immediate. "We are ready. Dad says the guest room is all yours for as long as you need." That night, as I lay in bed listening to the familiar sounds of the house settling, I felt strangely calm. Tomorrow would mark the beginning of a new chapter in my life, one where I was no longer a victim, but a survivor taking control of her own destiny. And one day, when the time was right, the Harrisons would face justice for what they had done to the child they had promised to love and protect. That was a promise I intended to keep. I left the Harrison house on a Tuesday morning, walking out the front door with my backpack. While Tim and Karen were at work, Jacob was sleeping off a hangover, and Ashley was at a friend's house. I did not leave a note. There was nothing left to say. Sophia was waiting in her car at the end of the street just as we had planned. When I slid into the passenger seat, she reached over and squeezed my hand. "You did it," she said, a proud smile lighting up her face. "You got out." "Finally," I agreed, looking back at the house that had been my prison for so many years. It looked so normal from the outside, the perfect suburban facade hiding the darkness within. "Let us go before anyone notices I am gone." Sophia drove me to her parents' house, where Mrs. Reyes was waiting with open arms and a homemade welcome cake. Mr. Reyes had taken the day off work and had already converted their guest room into a space for me, complete with a new bedspread, a small desk for studying, and a proper lock on the door with the key given to me. "The lock is for your peace of mind," he explained, handing me the key. "So you know no one can enter without your permission. This is your space now, Maeve." I was overwhelmed by their kindness, by the simple human decency that had been absent from my life for so long. That night, I slept in a bed where I did not fear being locked in a house where voices were not raised in anger, with people who seemed genuinely happy to have me there. The Harrisons' reaction to my departure was predictably self-serving. They reported me as a runaway, despite the fact that I had turned 18 and was legally an adult. When the police contacted me to confirm I was safe, I explained that I had simply moved out on my 18th birthday, as was my right. The officer seemed skeptical of the Harrisons' concern, especially when I mentioned the emancipation papers they had been preparing. "Sounds like they were planning to cut ties with you anyway," he noted. "Strange they would be so worried about where you went." "They are worried about appearances," I explained, "not about me." With that issue resolved, I could focus on building my new life. I got a job at a local coffee shop enrolled in the community college and began saving every penny I could. The Reyes family refused to accept rent, but I insisted on contributing to groceries and household expenses as much as my limited income would allow. During this time, I continued to organize and review the evidence I had collected over the years. Audio recordings, photographs, my detailed journal entries, all painting a picture of sustained emotional abuse and neglect. Mr. Reyes, who had connections in the legal community, introduced me to Diana Miller, a lawyer who specialized in family law and child advocacy. Diana reviewed my evidence with growing concern. "This is one of the more comprehensive documentation cases I have seen," she told me during our first meeting. "Most abuse victims, especially children, are not able to gather this level of evidence." "I knew no one would believe me without proof," I replied simply. "Well, you have proof now," she said, tapping the folder containing printouts of my documentation. "The question is, what do you want to do with it?" It was a question I had been pondering for months. Did I want to pursue criminal charges, a civil lawsuit, or did I simply want to move on with my life, leaving the Harrisons and their cruelty behind me? "I want justice," I finally said. "Not just for myself, but for any other children they might harm in the future. I want there to be consequences for what they did." Diana nodded thoughtfully. "A civil suit might be your best option. The burden of proof is lower than in criminal cases, and the evidence you have collected would be compelling to a judge or jury." And so began the process of building a legal case against my former foster family. Diana took my case on a contingency basis, believing strongly in the merits of the lawsuit. We filed claims for emotional distress, neglect, and the specific incident of abandonment on my 15th birthday. The Harrisons were served with papers 3 months after I left their home. Their reaction was swift and aggressive. They hired an expensive attorney who attempted to paint me as a troubled, mentally unstable teenager who had fabricated evidence to extort money from an innocent family. "They took in a child no one else wanted," their lawyer argued in preliminary motions. "They provided food, shelter, education, and guidance for 13 years only, to be repaid with false accusations and ingratitude." It was a familiar narrative, one I had heard from Tim and Karen themselves countless times. But now, for the first time, I had the opportunity to present my side of the story, with evidence to back it up. The legal process dragged on for over a year. Depositions, motions, counter-motions, all the slow machinery of the civil justice system. The Harrisons fought every step of the way, refusing mediation, rejecting settlement offers, apparently confident that their respectable facade would triumph over my documented evidence. During this time, I continued my education, transferred to a 4-year college on a partial scholarship, and moved into my own small apartment. The legal battle was a background presence in my life, important but not all-consuming. I was determined to build a future for myself regardless of the outcome. The case finally went to trial when I was 25 years after the abandonment that had set everything in motion. The courtroom was nothing like the dramatic scenes in television shows. It was smaller, more ordinary, but no less intimidating for its mundanity. I testified for 2 full days recounting my experiences in the Harrison household, with as much detail and composure as I could muster. The defense attorney attempted to discredit me, suggesting that I had manufactured evidence exaggerated normal family conflicts and was motivated by financial gain. If conditions were so unbearable, he asked during cross-examination, why didn't you report the alleged abuse earlier? I tried. I replied, my voice steady. When they abandoned me on my 15th birthday, I told the police and child services exactly what happened. No one believed me because there was no physical evidence, and the Harrisons presented themselves as concerned parents dealing with a troubled teen. The most powerful moment came when Diana played the audio recording of Jacob assaulting me, the sound of the slap echoing in the quiet courtroom, followed by his damning words, "No one will believe you anyway, just like last time." Sophia testified as a witness describing finding me abandoned miles from town, soaking wet and traumatized on my 15th birthday. Her parents corroborated her account, explaining how they had tried to intervene through proper channels, but were stymied by the system. Most surprisingly, Frank, the homeless man who had helped me that night, also appeared to testify. Mr. Reyes had kept in touch with him over the years, helping him secure housing and part-time work. Now, clean-shaven and more healthily fed Frank, nonetheless, had the same kind eyes I remembered from that rainy night. She was just a child, he told the court, his voice rough with emotion. Abandoned like trash in the middle of nowhere. What kind of people do that to a kid on her birthday? The turning point came when Ashley, now 22, and in graduate school, unexpectedly came forward to testify not for her parents, but for me. I knew what they were planning that day, she admitted, avoiding looking at her parents. We all did. Jacob and I went along with it because we were jealous of Maeve, of the attention she got when she first came to live with us. We were cruel to her for years, and then we participated in something unforgivable. Her testimony visibly shocked Tim and Karen, who had clearly expected family loyalty to prevail. When asked why she had decided to tell the truth, now Ashley's eyes filled with tears. "Because I cannot live with it anymore," she said simply. "What we did was wrong. Maeve deserved better from all of us." Jacob was called to the stand next, clearly rattled by his sister's defection. Under skillful questioning from Diana, he eventually admitted to knowledge of the abandonment plan, to years of bullying, and to the assault captured on my recording. "Yeah, I hit her," he finally said, deflating on the stand. "She would not do what I told her to do." Tim was the last to testify, and under the pressure of mounting evidence and his children's testimony, his carefully constructed facade cracked completely. "She was never supposed to be a permanent part of our family," he shouted when Diana pressed him about the abandonment. "She was supposed to be temporary until they found her real relatives. But then no one wanted her and we were stuck with her. Do you know what that is like? To be forced to raise someone else's unwanted child?" The courtroom fell silent at his outburst. In that moment, any sympathy the jury might have had for the Harrisons evaporated. The truth was finally out in the open, ugly and undeniable. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours before returning a verdict in my favor. They awarded damages for emotional distress negligence and the specific incident of abandonment totaling more than anyone had expected. The amount was substantial enough to cover my college education completely and provide a cushion for starting my adult life. But more importantly, it was an official acknowledgement that what had been done to me was wrong. As the verdict was read, I looked across the courtroom at the family that had caused me so much pain. Karen sat rigid, her face frozen in disbelief. Tim stared at the table, unable to meet anyone's eyes. Jacob looked angry, but defeated. Only Ashley looked at me directly, a mixture of regret and what might have been hope in her expression. Outside the courthouse, reporters asked how I felt about the verdict. I thought carefully before answering. "This was never about money," I said. "It was about truth. For years, no one believed me when I said I was being mistreated. Today, a jury heard the evidence and acknowledged what happened to me was real and wrong. That acknowledgement means more to me than any financial award." In the weeks that followed, I learned that the verdict had consequences beyond the monetary damages. Tim's accounting firm asked him to resign after the negative publicity. Karen's social standing in the community, something she had always valued highly, was irrevocably damaged. They were forced to sell their house to pay the judgment and legal fees. Jacob avoided me entirely, but Ashley reached out with a careful, tentative email. "I know I can never undo what I did," she wrote, "but I am truly sorry for my part in your suffering. If you ever want to talk, I would like the chance to apologize properly face to face." I did not respond immediately, unsure if I was ready for that conversation. But eventually I agreed to meet her at a neutral location, a coffee shop downtown. Our conversation was awkward, painful at times, but also cathartic. "I was a child too when it started," she said, "but I was old enough to know better by the time they left you in that lot. I just want you to know I think about that night all the time, about what could have happened to you, about how different I wish I had been." "Why did you testify?" I asked the question that had been puzzling me. "You could have sided with your parents." Ashley looked down at her coffee cup. "Because I am trying to become someone I can live with," she replied quietly, "and that person would tell the truth even when it is difficult." It was not forgiveness, not yet, but it was the beginning of something. A recognition that people can change, can regret their actions, can strive to be better. Jacob reached out much later, his email brief and less eloquent than his sister's, but seemingly genuine in its remorse. He had entered therapy, he said, was trying to understand why he had become the person he had been. I wished him well, but did not suggest meeting. Some bridges take longer to rebuild if they can be rebuilt at all. I never heard from Tim or Karen again. According to Ashley, they divorced shortly after the trial, each blaming the other for the situation that had led to their downfall. Today, at 21, I look back on the journey that brought me here with mixed emotions. There is still pain in those memories, still anger at times, but also pride in my own resilience, gratitude for the people who helped me when I needed it most, and a sense of purpose that grew from my experiences. I used part of the settlement money to complete my degree in social work, specializing in child welfare and foster care advocacy. The system that failed me so completely is deeply flawed, but I am determined to be part of making it better, of creating change from within. Last year, with help from Diana Miller, the lawyer who represented me in my case against the Harrisons, I established a small nonprofit organization called Second Chance. We provide support resources and advocacy for foster children who are aging out of the system or experiencing difficulties in their placements. Frank, the man who helped me on the worst night of my life, now works part-time at our office. He greets visitors, makes coffee, and often speaks with the teens who come in, offering the kind of non-judgmental understanding that only comes from having experienced true hardship. His kindness to a stranger changed my life, possibly saved it, and I will never forget that. Sophia remains my closest friend. After graduating with a degree in psychology, she joined Second Chance as our counseling coordinator. Her parents, who opened their home to me when I had nowhere else to go, are active supporters of our work and regular volunteers at our events. My apartment is small but warm, filled with books and photographs of my chosen family, the people who have shown me what real love and support look like. There is a framed picture of my birth mother on my bedside table alongside the repaired stuffed rabbit that has somehow survived everything with me. Ashley and I meet occasionally for coffee. Our relationship is complicated, a work in progress, but there is something healing in watching someone who once participated in my abuse genuinely trying to become a better person. She volunteers with us, sometimes speaking to groups about the impact of emotional abuse from the perspective of someone who regrets inflicting it. Jacob sent a donation to Second Chance last Christmas, anonymously, but Ashley confirmed it was from him. It was his way, I think, of acknowledging his role in my story, without having to face me directly. Perhaps one day we will have our own conversation, but I am not waiting for it, or depending on it for my peace. As for Tim and Karen Harrison, I have not seen or spoken to them since the trial. Ashley tells me they are both struggling in different ways, their lives permanently altered by the consequences of their actions. There was a time when I wanted nothing more than to see them suffer, as I had suffered to feel the pain they had inflicted on me. Now, I find that need for vengeance has largely faded, replaced by a quiet satisfaction that justice was served, and a system that often fails children like me worked as it should, at least this once. The most important lesson I have learned is that family is not defined by blood or legal documents. Family is made up of the people who choose you, who stand by you, who make you feel safe and valued and loved. I lost one family, but I found another stronger one along the way. For those of you watching who may be in situations similar to what I experienced, please know that you are not alone. There are people who will believe you, who will help you, who will stand with you. Document what is happening if you can reach out for help whenever possible, and hold on to hope that things can get better. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever had to rebuild your life after trauma or betrayal? What helped you heal? Please like this video if my story resonated with you. Subscribe to hear more stories of resilience, and share with anyone who might need to hear that survival is possible, that justice can be found, and that families can be created from love rather than obligation. Thank you for listening to my story, and remember that your worth is not determined by those who fail to love you properly. It is determined by your own courage, kindness, and capacity to create a better future.